my kids for me, then they close my bank account. I got so much anger in me, got no way to take it out. Think I'm stuck in the matrix. Where the f my nitrate? Yes, I am I like when people my bitch. I'm posting on Twitter, they telling me, hey, don't say that. Can't see me in public, I'm driving the Arco Maybach. With all of the money and fame, I still can't get my kids back. With all of the money and fame, I still don't get to see my children. In my Twitter, but they don't see how I be feeling. So I became a Nazi, yeah, I'm the feeling.
We made it to the stars, but our heading's yet so far. 'Twas told to me there was a sea hidden up on Mars. So when you see our ships shone by the eclipse, have no fear and shout a cheer for spaces in our grip. We're whalers on the moon. We carry a harpoon, but there ain't no whale, so we tell tall tales and sing a whaling tune. We're whalers on the moon, and yes, we be marooned. We're interstellar, sort of fellers, but we might be done.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Well, we're a little bit early. It is Wednesday, so we are doing a second stream post the first stream over on the Redoubt channel, where we are looking at my favorite what's the right way to say this? Some of my favorite content of all time. Very entertaining. Space, fantasy, science fiction. The realms that Scientology would be jealous of. In other words, Mormons. But I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody went out and got some Arby's, after the last stream. Hot Topic John is back, indeed. Nice beard. Yeah, so the mustache to beard transition takes about 2 days. That's it. That's the difference between a mustache and a beard on Mr. John Campbell. So how's everybody's night going? It's going to be more of a solo stream today, I think, at least till the second half. Richard might end up being here. We might have James and Christian join us while we're here as well. Fix audio. Fix your ears, my friend. No, is it too low? What's up? I mean, I can make it louder. Would you like it louder? Hello, louder. I don't know if that's what you want. I'm by myself, so it's not like I'm going to be talking over anybody. And, of course, Underwater Basket Weaving has left many end towers in chat before we started. Some would say hours before. Those end towers were promised before the stream was even scheduled. Audio is fine. You were a little quiet. It's low. It can't be low now, dude. I bumped it all the way up. If it's low, it's a YouTube's problem or a StreamYard's problem. Neither of which I prefer. Sounds great. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I mean, I'm loud. Like, in my own ears, I'm loud right now. It's louder with Crowder, or without Crowder, or with half of Crowder after his wife got everything else. All right. Well, let's go ahead, and we're going to start out with Sig Sauer. Duh. What else are we going to talk about?
What's up, my Siggers?
Because Sig decided to do the thing that they've already done. They just decided, you know what? Let's do it again. It worked out well for us the first time, so we're just going to do the same thing over again. Sig Sauer sues Oregon Police Training Academy for banning popular handgun. Now, it's popular to talk about, but as you guys will see a little bit later on, maybe not so popular to own anymore. Maybe not quite so popular. I need to make sure I have everything scheduled in order here so you guys can actually see how popular they may or may not be. So, The maker of popular handgun, again, citation needed, that was banned by the Oregon Department of Public Safety Standards and Training is suing the agency and seeking DPSST's, catchy title, decision to be overturned. DPSST Director Phil Castle wrote in a June 13th letter to Oregon police chiefs, sheriffs, and agency executives that after reviewing a report from the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission, which again, SIG has already sued them for this exact same thing. And lost, by the way. It got thrown out by the judge. He decided to bar the Sig Sauer P320 and all of its variants from training courses and campuses. Sig Sauer filed a petition for judicial review in Marion County Circuit Court on August 12th, asking a judge to reverse the decision and award the company any economic damages determined at trial. So basically, they're like, no, you can't drop us, and in fact, for banning our gun, we're going to sue you, and you owe us damages. Now, this is... I don't know what to call this, because it's kind of a PR move, because obviously you don't want your handgun being banned by everyone, but in the process of suing Oregon State in this case, you make everybody kind of hate you. Not to mention, you just lost this case in Washington. You decided, well, what's just slightly worse than Washington? Well, Oregon. So you just moved down the chain of cringe and you try it in Oregon. Maybe you can win one here. The company alleged that the decision was improper, arbitrary, and capricious. I like Capri Sun. I like Capri Sun. And based on unverified, vague, hearsay allegations, according to the lawsuit. The, like the cases you lost where the, juries decided that it was a defective design by Sig Sauer? I don't know. The handgun, widely used among law enforcement, less widely now, and the military, maybe for not much longer, has been the subject of controversy for years as numerous users have reported it fired on its own. And again, I'm not sure why SIG decided to take the exact same move that already lost, right? They already lost in Washington State doing this exact same thing, but I suppose their lawyers are on retainer, and they're like, we got to pay these guys for something, so you guys are just going to maybe move on to Oregon. They're completing the whole circuit. Eventually, they will make their way all the way around the continental U.S. and then to Alaska and Hawaii and maybe even the Philippines. Who knows how far it's going to go? Kyle's already here. I am so happy that Kyle's here. Okay, Kyle, I do want to hear your opinion about this. If you think that Sig Sauer has legitimate grounds for suing the state of Oregon for banning the P320 when they've already lost the exact same case, basically, in Washington. That's what I want to hear, Kyle. Give me your argument. The maker of a popular handgun that was banned by the Oregon Department of Public Safety Standards and Training is suing the agency for DPSST's decision to be overturned. Phil Castle, this is basically just the exact same thing. SIG maintains that the gun can only discharge when the trigger is pulled, meets and exceeds industry safety standards, which is funny because, remember, they knew it was not drop safe for 4 years before they did an involuntary upgrade. And we have documents proving that Bruce Gray knew it was defective and was working on the fix that he sold to Sig Sauer as early as 2014. Remember, that is 3 years before that was ever officially recognized. So they knew it was defective in terms of the drop safe 3 years before they made any sort of updates. So that's just kind of the history we're dealing with Sig Sauer here. And that all incidents of unintended discharges were due to improper handling. The Washington State investigation was initiated after a reported uncommanded discharge on the WSC JTC firing range on October 2024, and of course that's what led them to ban it in Washington. Sig Sauer sued them, and then they lost that. Now, in terms of SIG value propositions, this is going to hurt. Okay, if you guys own a P320, which I have a P320, it's around here somewhere. I think a P320 is now officially undervalued compared to a C9. I think people are shorting Sig Sauer when it comes to this. This is allegedly a P320 M18 trade-in for, yes, $142. $142 versus a High Point C9, brand new, for $170. That is how tarnished the Sig M18's reputation apparently is. If your trade-in value on a Sig Sauer is a firm handshake and a pack of Smarties, that's about what you're getting on a Sig M18 these days. Which, for all of you,
What's up, my Siggers?
all of you Siggas out there in the chat, if you're looking to trade in your M18, the best day to do that was probably yesterday when it was actually worth something, because they are going down in value. Now, this is also just a funny meme, right? You have the display cases of handguns all broken into and stolen out. They took all the Glocks and a bunch of other handguns. Suspiciously, they didn't even bother breaking the glass on the Sig Sauer 9mm, which, of course, this is just a meme, but it is very funny. It's very, very funny. Now, if you are a hardcore Sig defender and you're still riding that train, maybe it's a good time to pick up a couple extra M18s, and when they become collectible in a decade or so as the shortest issued sidearm in U.S. military history, maybe that's a good investment, is a couple, sub $200 M18s or a bunch of them. Because at that price, I mean, it's tempting even for somebody like me. Good to know, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Speaking of negative 30-degree nightmare, $5. The last time I was this early, the striker on my P365 kept breaking. Listen, nothing is more dangerous and unreliable than any Sig Gen 1 product. Thank you for the 5, negative 30-degree nightmare. Battlefield 4 Chode says for $5, first time catching a live stream. Live. That was the worst debate between those weirdos, Bucky and Jereb, I have ever seen, and I loved every minute of it. Okay, speaking of Jordan Jereb, right? I have been talking to him a little bit. He's still talking. And I kind of want to get him on the channel again, not for a debate, but to go through his strategy of picking up prison women and how that works out between him and his girlfriend, who was featured in his latest video, which we might take a look at. We might take a look at that a little bit later. Who stabbed her ex-boyfriend, which is why she was in prison for Jordan to pick up. So I think that could be a very interesting schizo conversation for us to take a look at some point in the future. But thank you, Battlefield 4 Chode. I hope you have a good time tonight. Huge Ass for 5 says, damn you, Focus. The last live stream made me hungry for Arby's. Hey, listen, they have the meat. And I've been told you can do some wacky things with their sandwiches. I have not verified these personally, though. Thank you for that, Huge Ass. Zafon for 2 says, Hot Topic John is back. Unfortunate. Thank you for that. Moonman for 5 says, hey, buddy, you got the wrong door. Shanty Club is 2 blocks down. Hey, as requested, there was a certain song in the intro. Now, that also followed up by a shanty, but there was a certain song in the intro. Thank you for that, Moonman. Coral Weezer for 5 says, I buy the beef and cheddar for tour to practice. You buy the beef and cheddar for the flavor. We are not the same. Wow. Arby's might need to hire you as a testing consultant for them. The Light Spore drops $14.88, and I'm quite confident, in fact, that he was very well rewarded in the chat with a certain letter of numbers. Jordan doesn't need fixing. Pre-ordering a girlfriend is crazy. Yeah, I mean, you literally get to look through their mug shots. You see what they've done. You get the pros and cons with them in prison, and then you just, you start sending them snacks and treats in prison, and then, you talk to them a little bit. You become pen pals, and then when they come out, it's like, they're already predisposed to like you. Wild strategy. Let's see how it pays off. Thank you, The Light Spore, for 15 or 14.88 to be sure. Appreciate it, man. Chud McGill for 2 says, I can't wait for incredibly gassy Kyle. Kyle's gay. Well, Kyle is in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, that's all anybody's going to be talking about is the Chud-inspired Arby's commercial. Well, I think Chud and Kyle are going to get it on. Oh, I did see that. Yeah, Wyoming Gun Project's in the chat. Hope you're doing well, man. Man, that video you made's almost at 1 million views. Good job. However, if it's all gun handling stuff, I don't think I can show that on YouTube. Otherwise, I would take a look at it. All right, thank you for that. Chud McGill, yeah, Chud McGill did make a item for Kyle, which I am not going to play on stream. Don't think I can. Jojo for show for 5 says another Wednesday, another focus trip stream. Enjoy the show, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Hope you're having a good night, Jojo for show. Thank you for the 5. Meliz Demeanor for 2 says Kyle, question mark. Kyle is here. Although if he did posit his argument earlier on, I actually missed it. No white monster. No white monster tonight. Tonight we have a sour gummy worm, Rain, which has a much higher caffeine content, so I kind of enjoy it. And for a day like today, Moonman for 5 says, give this $5 to Kyle. Okay, Kyle, let me know where you want it. I'll send you $5. Thank you for that, Moonman. Moonman for another 2 says, Kyle is sigmissive and readable. Thank you for that, Moonman. Melissa Mina for 2 says, mashallah. Inshallah, mashallah. Kyle is here. Kyle is indeed here. He's going to be hanging out. Thank you for that, Melissa Demeanor. Moonman for another 5 says, please, I beg you, get Chungus Wignat back. You know what? I could text him right now, and I'm sure he would come on. I am sure he would come on right now. Indeed, Rumble is a little bit more free speech for sure, no doubt about it. All right, well, let's get right into the heavy topics for the night, shall we? So, if you're aware of modern American politics or American politics for the last 100 years or so, you kind of already know where this story is going. Last week, Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, interesting name, was arrested in Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Joint Operation, and he was booked into the Henderson Detention Center. This important multi-agency operation targeted child sex predators who preyed upon the most vulnerable members of our communities. As a result of the operation, the Clark County District Attorney's Office is handling the prosecution. So this comes from Atlas News. An Israeli, cybersecurity official was arrested in Las Vegas during an FBI-led sting operation targeting child predators. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich was charged with a felony count of luring a child with a computer for a sex act. He posted his $10,000 bail, which, listen, guys, $10,000 bail is simply not enough for an act like this. I mean, I feel like this should almost be a no bail situation, like a murder charge, right? And has since fled the country. I wonder to which country he fled to. Depending on the circumstances of the crime, he could have, if he hadn't left, faced up to 10 years in jail. Alexandrovich served as a senior department head in Israel's National Cyber Directorate and was likely in Las Vegas for Black Hat, a prominent cybersecurity conference held at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. The same one that guy walked up how many stories with how many pounds of gear? According to a local media, he attempted to solicit a 15-year-old girl for sex and brought a condom while taking the decoy to the Cirque du Soleil. The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said a state-of-fit employee who traveled to the U.S. for professional matters was questioned by American authorities during his stay. Denying that an arrest had taken place, this statement contradicts one made by the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Nevada, whose office announced on the 18th that Tom Artyom Alexandrovich was arrested in a Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children joint operation, and he was booked into the Henderson Detention Center. The names of the other 7 men arrested in the sting have not been released. The state attorney overseeing the case, Sigil Chatta, what a strange name, Sigil Chatta, has previously expressed support for Israel on her X account, and we will get into all of that. Now, as you can imagine, this is Sigil Chatta. This is the acting DA for Nevada. This is Mr. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, who again allegedly solicited sex from a 15-year-old and tried to lure her to his hotel. Fortunately, it was a decoy sting operation. And then after he was arrested, not charged for some reason, but arrested for this act, he fled immediately back to Israel. Womp womp. Okay, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. We're not done yet. Just in, Trump administration directly intervened at Israel's request to release Israeli cybersecurity official Tom Alexandrovich, charged with sex crimes against children, and gave him safe passage to Israel. I have now confirmed with officers involved in the sting that the Trump administration personally intervened at Israel's request to override U.S. law enforcement, including their own federal agents involved in the sting, to make sure that Alexandrovich got back to Israel quickly and safely. Now, this is not like confirmed or anything. This is denied in another article that I have popped up, so keep all that in mind. None of this is actually confirmed, although it wouldn't be surprising. The officers told me they couldn't believe it. They had worked for weeks with the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force to run this sting. They caught Alexandrovich red-handed. They booked him, charged him, which will be contradicted a little bit later, and logged him into Henderson County's system like every other suspect. And then, despite the Trump administration's itself authorizing the sting, Trump's own team stepped in and blew up their work. They expedited his release and return to Israel. A predator was caught, and then to protect Netanyahu, he was freed. It does make him look bad, I would say. Now, there is a really funny tweet. Let me see if I can find it. Not for the tweet itself, but just for the template. And I think Vintage Warfare did it. Let me see if I can pull his up real fast. There we are. Fortunately, he doesn't tweet like a madman, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. And, of course, it's not. It's not there. Is it in his replies? Maybe it's in his replies. Let me see. There it is. There it is. This is the one that I want. The fell forward again battlefield, what was it, 3 maneuver? Yeah? Is that the one? But it's just, yeah, the MAGA falling forward again. It happens. It happens. It's just a great template. It's just a great template. But we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. Chuck, member for 4 months, says, what did you think about the Helldivers 2 X ODST DLC? I haven't played it. I can't really play Helldivers on my PC because it continues to crash. So maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, it could be very fun. Could be very fun. All right. Now, this is by Cigar and Jetty. You know, maybe check your sources a little bit. Key question: how was Alexandrovich allowed to escape Israel after being caught in the child sexting? Some answers. A source familiar with the Nevada proceedings explains that Alexandrovich posted bail and fled to Israel before appearing before a judge. A criminal complaint needs to be filed before the restrictions can be imposed on travel. So, according to this source, the criminal complaint was not actually filed, so they couldn't place travel restrictions on him. And allegedly, he was the only person caught in this sting that didn't have these travel restrictions placed on him, which is quite suspect. This is where things get sketchy. Alexandrovich remains the only person caught in the sting who has not had a criminal complaint filed against him, which then means no judge could impose restrictions. Alexandrovich is due back in court on 8/27 for a status check on filing of complaint. I think he's going to miss that hearing. If I had to guess, Mr. Alexandrovich is going to be chilling in Tel Aviv, which also has the highest per capita members of these certain individuals. I think he's going to be chilling there. I don't think he's going to be coming back to the States. But the complaint remains on file. There is no indication yet that he will even attend his court proceeding in person. Of course he's not. It also remains an open question as to whether the federal agents at the HSI FBI alerted U.S. Attorney Chada, which is the person we'll talk about in just a minute, who has been openly a major Israeli supporter in the past of his employment to the Israeli government. And then, of course, our government comes out and says, "Nuh-uh, we didn't do that. How dare you? We would never let like pedos, like, you know, get away with things, or, you know, like not release certain files pertaining to them. We wouldn't do that. Not us. Couldn't be us. Israeli official Tom Alexandrovich was arrested in Nevada before being released. U.S. State Department says U.S. officials were not involved in his release. Las Vegas police announced his arrest late last week after an undercover operation. The U.S. State Department said on Monday the American government played no role in the release of an Israeli official charged with soliciting sex electronically from a minor. Real Bob Vogel vibes here. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich was one of 8 people charged last week following an undercover operation targeting child sex predators, and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police said in a statement issued last week. Alexandrovich faces a felony charge of luring or attempting to lure a child or mentally ill person to commit a sex act with the use of computer technology. So is it a different crime if you write a letter? Is that a pen pal crime instead of with use of computer technology? Israeli media said on Thursday, Alexandrovich, who they described as a senior department head in Israel's National Cyber Directorate, was released by U.S. authorities and is back in Israel. Reuters could not establish why Alexandrovich was in the Las Vegas area, but at the time, the city was hosting Black Hat, one of the cybersecurity industry's most prominent conferences. A representative for Black Hat said the conference did not share data on attendees. Wouldn't that be funny? At the cybersecurity conference, they leak all of the data of who's actually there, which would just kind of be just a little ironic, just a little on the nose. The report that an Israeli official accused of a felony sex crime was allowed to return home drew a storm of speculation online. No diplomatic immunity. He did pay the bond. Let's see. Did not. The Israeli embassy in Washington did not immediately return the request for comment. I wonder why. Bit of a sticky situation. And yeah. U.S. Department of Near Eastern Affairs. The Department of State is aware that Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. Now, again, would your government ever lie to you? Yes. 100%. And this is a guy who's, you know, a senior head of Israeli cybersecurity, pretty far up there. You know, even if he doesn't have quote unquote diplomatic immunity, he probably has some powerful friends in high places. Maybe some sensitive data they don't want getting out. Who knows, right? All plausible, all theoretical. But, you know what's funny? Every now and again, you hear a take from somebody, and you're like, damn, I'm not supposed to like you. You're on the opposite side of the political spectrum from me. Maybe that's just the horseshoe theory kicking in, of course. But we have the Young Turks doing a really good job of explaining all of this. Doing a really good job, especially with the acting DA of Nevada. So we'll go ahead and let this play.
The acting U.S. attorney for the state of Nevada.
Sometimes the memes just write themselves. So again, this is the lady who allegedly let the child sex pest go home back to Israel. You know, it's just a little strange.
State in which an Israeli official was caught up in a pedophile sting operation that was carried out by the FBI and local police is an Israeli-born individual lawyer who has ties to various Zionist organizations, including the Israeli American Council, which is funded by Miriam Adelson. I think that information is relevant.
Adelson is also one of Trump's top donors, just to be clear. I do love how a Israeli-born Israeli dual citizen is also somehow a district attorney in Nevada. It's like, really, should we allow that sort of thing? I mean, I know people have been talking about this for a little while now, but maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't allow dual citizens to hold office in this country. Maybe that's too strong of a take, but I'm just saying maybe people with dual allegiances, or really one allegiance that's not America, shouldn't be allowed to hold American offices. Maybe.
Relevant because the guy in question here, the alleged pedophile who got caught attempting to lure what he believed was a 15-year-old girl in Las Vegas for sex, his name is Tom Alexandrovich, was allowed to go back to Israel. He didn't even miss his scheduled flight back to Israel. And now that he's in Israel, it's unlikely that he's ever gonna be prosecuted for it. In fact, the Israelis appear to be providing cover for him, even though he got caught up in this joint sting operation. Now, the FBI being involved in this sting operation is very relevant because you would expect the federal government to pursue prosecution. But they're not pursuing prosecution. In fact, Sigal Chattah, that's the name of the Israeli-born, Trump-appointed acting US attorney for.
Where's that picture? Let me pull it back up again. Where'd it go? This one. This is the picture. This is the face of. This is the face of Israeli citizen that is protecting a other Israeli citizen from facing sex crime charges in America. You know, just doing your buddy a solid, I guess. Can't be getting arrested for messing around with no 15-year-olds in America. Straight back to Israel for you.
Nevada says the following in a statement. This is posted on X. Last week, Tom Alexandrovich was arrested in a Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children joint operation, and he was booked into the Henderson.
I don't know if Skipper Duke is telling me to focus, or he's like, focus, my man, like you're on the wrong path. If I'm on the wrong path, feel free to correct me on this, because I'm happy to listen to your arguments. I think that could be quite entertaining.
Detention Center. This important multi-agency operation targeted child sex predators who preyed upon the most vulnerable members.
Oh no, I remember. No. It's not. All right, listen, guys. Okay. It's all of them. It's all of them. Okay. It's not red versus blue. It's all of them. Okay. It's all of them. All right. Just throwing that out there.
Members of our communities. As a result of the operation, the Clark County District Attorney's Office is handling the prosecution. Why? So understand, this is essentially Sigal Chattah's way of saying, we wash our hands of this pedophile, this Israeli official who is an alleged pedophile. And we're gonna just allow the state to deal with it, even though we allowed this guy to fly back to Israel, which means extraditing him back to the United States to face prosecution and to face charges is already incredibly difficult. There are literally thousands of cases in which the federal government in the United States has attempted to extradite Israelis for crimes they've committed here in the US. And Israel won't play ball because Israel owns us. Let's keep it real.
Well, so and this sort of thing happens a lot, and yeah, again, somebody said broken clock right twice a day. It's like, it's like when you start doing like a little bit of maybe anti-state in the Middle East, stuff, and then you start getting recommended like pro-Islam stuff, and you're like, no, you don't quite understand what I'm getting at here. But broken clock right twice a day, and we see this sort of thing happen a lot. Actually, wasn't it? It was Roman Polanski who. Was it his 14-year-old stepdaughter or 15-year-old stepdaughter? And then Bryan Singer, who was also another, Hollywood type, caught doing things with minors, and he fled to Israel as well. So this happens a lot. People are like, oh, sex crime in the US, back to Tel Aviv.
So why would we think for a second that the state prosecution, Nevada prosecuting him, would make it any easier to bring him to justice? It wouldn't. And I think that's the point here. So mind you, the FBI, again, was part of the sting operation.
Well, I mean, listen, guys, okay? There are certain verses in the Talmud that allow, a certain group of people to get away with crimes against the goyim, right? So I mean, it is kind of in their culture, let's say, to not prosecute their own for doing things to other people because they are a hyper ethnically focused group, which isn't, maybe all I'm saying is maybe other people should act the same. I don't know.
Yet federal prosecutors are washing their hands of it. Why? Why would the FBI be part of a sting operation when federal authorities don't plan on prosecuting individuals who have been caught in the sting operation? And keep in mind, the crime he is accused of here, Alexandrovich, he's accused of a felony, using technology to lure a minor for sex. A felony punishable in Nevada by between 1 and 10 years in prison, in addition to fines up to $10,000. In Nevada, this is a category B felony, the second most serious type of crime after offenses that involve causing death or grievous injury.
Yeah. So, guys,
I'm probably gonna stop it there because again, this is where it's like the guy on the left also thinks you should be able to have intercourse with animals. So his opinion on this sort of stuff isn't all that relevant. Just a crazy little wacky man over there on the left. But, just in case you needed another reminder that you live in clown world, in clown country. Still the best country out there. But, we could use some improvement. A little bit of renovations, you could say. Helldivers 2 times ODST. This is the bread and circuses part, even though I still love ODST, of course. But I can't really play it on my PC, otherwise I would. Sounds like a good time, and I think the Xbox guys will be a good addition to Helldivers 2. Robert Kinley for 2 says, life hack, AA meetings won't work just as well for a girlfriend. Oh, AA meetings. Okay, so Alcohol's Anonymous. Okay. Interesting. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, alcoholics and prisoners. I got it. If I ever need this information again in my life. Chud McGill for 2 says, why not play it? It's censored, bro. Kyle will love it. I don't love it. I don't love that I saw it, Chud. So how about that? No, that's gross, bro. The Lightspore for 5 says, John, how much do I have to give to talk about FDOC with Jordan? Oh, like you want to come on and talk with Jordan about it? Nothing. I can get him on. You want to come on and talk with him? You can come on and talk with him. I will allow it. If you have something interesting to say and you're not going to get the channel taken down, I don't mind having people on. I have a lot of retarded losers on all the time. I consider myself one of them. Thank you, the light sport. Moonman for 5 says, Dr. Fuzzy, no cap, the Jannies in the premium chat for premium people will be joining Logan on my gang stalking list. Yeah, Moonman is not happy with the Jannies in our totally VIP chat that you can join if you're a member on YouTube or Subscribestar. And you can hang out with guys like Moonman if that's your thing. I don't know what that says about you, though, to be honest. Thank you, Moonman, for the 5. Huge Ass for 2 says, the usual behavior from Tiny Hat Gang. You know what? I think Owen Benjamin made this joke a long time ago, but there's a relation between the uselessness of the hat and the value that they provide to people. Right, so the smaller the hat, the more useless the hat, the less value they provide. So like a sombrero Mexican, like picking apples or whatnot, like that provides some value to society. But, a small hat, probably more likely to swindle you out of something. Thank you for that, huge ass. Noob Actual for 2 says, my eyes were burned immediately. That mount is trash. Oh, the Hydra mount? It's a real Hydra mount. Andrew Vachon sent me a real Hydra mount and a real comp M5 aim point, so it's like $1,300 worth of optics and risers. You don't like that? I could have put the mall on it too. That would have made it even better. Thank you for that, Noob Actual. Huge Ass for 2 says the wood chipper hungers. You know what? The wood chipper can have an Israeli as a treat. Thank you, Huge Ass. Todd and Dogs for 5 says handguns are made for killing. They ain't no good for nothing else. And if you like to drink your whiskey, you might even shoot yourself. I think that's how you wanted me to pronounce it. Thank you, Todd Dogs, for the 5. Moonman for 2 says Moko hours have officially begun. I've seen him talking in chat, but I haven't seen any. Oh, Taco Bell time for Jake. Heck yeah. I haven't seen any dream statements yet. Otherwise, I would save them. Thank you, Moonman. Moonman for another 2 says it must be hard to be Anna. I feel bad for her. Well, I don't know if I feel bad for her. I don't know if that's right. Because, she chose this. And she obviously, listen, guys, like, she's still a psycho. Right. I mean, even if she's right a couple times every now and again on certain issues, like, you wouldn't want her anywhere near any position of power. Thank you for that, Moonman. Moonman for another 5 says, evil race of bug people golems. If there are any good ones, the good Lord will recognize his own. They all have these bug eyes and pensive faces. It is an interesting physiognomy going on for sure. You know, some races just look a little bit different, and that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Some would say it's a tell. Moonman for 5 says, 80 years ago it didn't happen, but inshallah it will happen this time. Moonman, no. I can't put that on screen. Pro gamer Nick. Girlips for 2 says, if you were Muslim, it would be okay to them. Well, that's the thing. Muslims would also have a in-group preference, and if they had the power to get away with this, they absolutely would, right? However, Muslims, you know, for the most part, don't have the power to get away with that yet in America. Although in certain places you could argue that they could, where they have positions of power, their judges would absolutely let them off in this same way. So that's the thing you have to realize. When these groups reach a certain level of power, a certain level of saturation, they will use their in-group preference to benefit themselves and their own people. Whereas you are demonized if you even think about doing the same thing. Because these people have real in-group preferences. They do not care about you, your family, or your country. They're not from here, and this isn't their home. Moonman for 5 says, can I pay to have that chud made sent to Kyle because I personally don't need to see it again? Yeah, I don't need to see it again either. That's quite gross. So if I have to send it to somebody, that means that I have to look at it again, and I don't want to look at it again. Thank you for that, Moonman. Chud McGill for 2 says, I worked hard on that. Worked hard on that or worked wall hard on that because it was absolutely disgusting. Anna is my personal liberal art hoe. No, she's about 10 years past the wall, my friend. Mocha, strongest soldier. Once I had a dream where Ian McCollum was showing me an AR upper based off of a Hotchkiss design at a table in a pizza restaurant with Japanese graver idols as the waitresses. Do I have to look up what that is? Is that going to be gross? Japanese gravure. Oh, it's like models. Not the worst it could have been. Not the worst it could have been. Unbelievable. Okay, well, here we go. Maybe a lighter topic. Maybe this will be better. Noob Actual for 5 says you should do a stream on ranking important purchases of prepared citizens. Hint, fruit trees and planters are way above knots. Yeah, if you, you know, food is a little bit more important than like an auto rifle or some of these other wild purchases. Like, do you want to spend a couple grand on a belt fed up receiver, or do you want to actually have food to survive? Maybe you need chickens, you know. 100%. But I'm not a prepper channel, and I'm not really equipped to speak on that. I think there are great channels that have done that sort of thing, but like food, water, shelter, community. I think those are the things you got to have, right? And you can't do it alone, especially if you have a family. You got to work together with a community, be a part of a community, know your neighbors, that sort of thing. You know, live in a high trust society as much as you can, which is easier for me to do because I, you know, live in South Dakota and I don't have these problems that some of these city folk have. Thank you for that. Huge Ass for 10 says time travel back 10 years, shoe on head, or Anna K. Anna Kendrick? Or Anna Kasparian. Yeah, sorry. Shoe on head. I don't even know who Shoe on head is. Oh. They're both yikes, bro. For $2, neither. How about that? Yeah. Start gardening. Start gardening. That's the important thing. All right, but how about bear defense? You know, actually, that's the most important prepping topic of all time. It's bear defense. What caliber? Well, your bed gun that you're going up against this black bear. You know, it's not that he's black, but sometimes black bears are just a little bit more aggressive. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's not because he's black. But this is wild. Bed rifle might have saved his life. What a story. Weapon light, WML, that's not me in the video. So this is simply a bear gets into this guy's house. He doesn't know that, but he grabs his bedside rifle that has a weapon-mounted light, and he goes and engages this bear. Now, it's not gory or violent or anything like that or particularly scary, but I imagine for him it was terrifying in this situation. Pitch black, you hear a large creature moving around in your house, and then you just see a black shape moving, and you do what needs to be done. Now, I actually think great job on him for taking it out that quickly. As soon as he spots it, very, very close. Now, we'll talk about all the other stuff, but this is a picture of the handiwork. Not a particularly big black bear, but we're still probably talking 100 pounds, 150 pounds. And keep in mind, middle of the night, you hear something large moving around in your downstairs. You don't know if it's a human, a bear, or whatever it might be, and runs up on you. Well, yeah, you take the shot. You take it out. Now, people were, I had the gentleman who sent me this was like, oh, I wonder what caliber he was using. I wonder what, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. It's a 5.56 at point blank range, and if you hit it in the head, surprise, surprise, it just turns off. I mean, black bear are small, but still, I mean, you're half awake, heading through your house. You hear a noise downstairs, and then just this black furry creature runs at you. And still, we're talking about a huge dog. Like, this would be a massive dog. I would shoot a dog if it was charging at me inside of my house. Okay, so but a black bear is a totally different idea. And yeah, and again, caliber, bullet type, what's your offset, bro? None of it matters. And I mean, he got good shots on target. I would be annoyed that I shot 5 or 6 rounds inside the house and destroyed my flooring. But other than that, I mean, he did good. He did really good. Well, yeah, and here's the thing too. Like people say, oh, 5.56 isn't effective. Like, it's incredibly effective. Like anything takes 4 rounds to the chest. Like it's going down. I don't know if black bears are the most chill. I've seen them be kind of aggressive to people. Now, I've seen people like stand up to them and like bully them away, but I've seen black bears run up on people. And if I had a gun, and especially if I had my kids around and I had a bear run up on, I would just kill it. It's going down. I don't care if like, oh, it's just, I can bully it away. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to kill it. That bear didn't do nothing. VSO with the boomer tag. What did VSO say? Oh, he's right here. Sorry. That little black bear probably would not attack him, but you never know what's going on with wild animals. I mean, that's not completely wrong. It's possible that it wasn't actually going to attack him, but it got really damn close. Like, if you watch the video, like it's moving towards him when he's shooting it. It's moving at him when he shoots it. And he does everything right. He goes out. He seeks out the threat. You can see it right there. It's moving right at him, like pretty fast, and he drops it instantly. So props to him. Also, maybe this is just a good excuse for everybody that doesn't have a bedside gun. Maybe you should have a bedside gun with a, with a weapon light. Also, I do find it very funny that people continue to recommend not having a weapon light on your defense guns, and I always just find that very silly. Very, very silly. Could we get a link to that post, please? Yeah, you should be able to get a link to it. Posted it in chat, Lynn. That is the one. It is on Embrace the Recoil. Embrace the Recoil. I don't follow them, but this was just sent to me, and it is a very, very interesting video. Black bear survival gun. That's what we need. Moonman for 5 says, Amoko is the tamest weeb. I am not a weeb, but even I am worse than him. Everything Amoko posts is safe for work and sponsored by the U.S. federal government. Well, that's true. It has your stamp of approval on it. Federal government approved. Thank you for that, Moonman. Moonman for another 5 says, Shu is political boxy. Okay. Glad she got married and started drinking White Monster as God intended. I mean, I don't. Does she does commentary videos? I'm sure she's very sufferable, as all women are very sufferable. Thank you for that, Moonman. Vintage Welfare for 5, our favorite black queen in the house. That black bear didn't do nothing. He was a peaceful yogi who was only trying to feed his kids and shit. Yeah, he was just trying to feed his kids with your food in your house. It's like last week when we talked about the father of 20 who got killed at a bus station while trying to rob somebody at the bus station. And there was a massive funeral held in his honor for some reason where only half of his kids actually showed up. I mean, that's okay. I'm fine with having a lot of kids. I think that is actually the best course for most people. I think that people should get back to that before we are, there's a total population collapse. But I don't want my legacy to be only half of my kids showing up to my funeral. I think that's sad. I think that says a lot about you as a parent. Focus Trip's wife. Speaking of making babies, what's worse than waking up in the middle of the night to clean up a black bear or waking up to clean up a child's vomit? Black bear and blood. Like if I have killed a black bear, which actually, funnily enough, guys, okay, story time. I have killed a black bear as well. I did it with a car, though. I was going over from Washington to South Dakota. I was driving my old Lexus ES300, 1997, crappy car. It's a Toyota Camry, basically. I was driving it over the mountain pass into Montana, and on the way down, doing 70, 80 miles an hour. It's pitch black outside. I see a bunch of cars pulled over, and then I just see this shape come across, and I run over it. And I thought I had just killed a human because I was moving very fast. I hit it basically head on, like the right headlight straight into it, and I thought I had killed somebody. And I was like, damn it, like my life is tragically ruined because I just killed this guy. Like this is going to be awful. Just because of everything that goes into all of that sort of stuff. I get out of the car, pull over, and there's already people who have already pulled over. It's because there was a black bear that was kind of hanging out on the road, so people were, I guess, trying to get it off or something like that. But no, I hit it, and I killed it. So I think child's vomit is much more cute and easy to clean up than a dead black bear. And people also said, yeah, they carry all sorts of insects and gross stuff on them, so I don't think you want any black bears in your house. Not to mention whatever else they've destroyed. Huge ass for 5. Black bear's getting out of here. A bear can't even B&E in the middle of the night anymore. Yeah, it used to be a safe town where we could break and enter as we please. Not anymore. Not even safe. These people just shoot us. We should lobby to have the guns removed, which is actually what they did in that case. You know what, Greyhound? Your passengers shouldn't be allowed to defend themselves from us. I think that's the fix here. Moonman for 5 says, with the power of Jereb, you too can have 20 kids via the power of prison girlfriend pre-orders. Not the wackiest solution I've heard. I mean, if you ever talk or see like a dating guru or like these pickup artists, not the wackiest advice I've ever heard. And I mean, it worked. He obviously has a girlfriend, so. Incels, what's holding you back from getting a prison girlfriend? Strapped LB Style for 5 says, just your Sig fanboy. Your mom says we already have it home. Checking in. Sup, everybody. I hope you're having a good night, Mr. Strapped LB Style. Yeah, I mean, there's been some Sig defending. I think Trench has held every position possible. He's back to a full-on Siga, as they say, with his latest video defending the Sig Sauer P320 because it passed his arduous burn down test that he does.
What's up, my Siggers?
Okay, guys. Well, somehow we have back-to-back absolutely depraved police departments back to back. So I'm just going to let this play, and you guys are going to be forced to listen to it. You guys are going to be forced to listen to it.
Of Trash Command staff, we traveled to East Lyme, Connecticut to check out a wife-beating chief, a weak-minded sergeant, and a whore lieutenant. Chief Michael Finkelstein was arrested 3 times.
Again with the names. Yes. The names line up. I know.
And has been on paid leave for nearly a year. An internal affairs report investigators have been working on for months found an officer, a sergeant, a lieutenant, and the chief all violated department policy. When officers were called to Finkelstein's home in 2023 for a report of domestic violence, the report says Officer Larry Watson and Sergeant Eric Holt didn't properly investigate and document the call. State police later charged Finkelstein with disorderly conduct for the argument he had with his wife that day. Finkelstein was arrested and placed on paid leave in early...
I do love that name, Finkelstein. It sounds like a children's book villain, you know, Finkelstein. He's the town troublemaker.
June of 2024, when he was arrested on more domestic violence charges. The report says Finkelstein's wife called 911, saying she'd been punched in the face after arguments over an alleged affair with East Lyme Lieutenant Dana Jizierski. In the report...
Jizierski. Okay, so this leader guy, right? So the chief... the chief gets caught with another officer. Finkelstein gets caught with Jizierski, punches his wife, which, again, you know, many police officers follow this trope. I think it's something like 40% of police officers are in some sort of domestic violence, which it's just a little high. That's all I'm saying. And then his buddies fail to follow up on it and properly investigate him beating his own wife, which obviously there's a conflict of interest there. You're investigating your own boss. And then he gets put on leave for an entire year. Paid leave, mind you. Now, I would also like to get on paid leave for a year for committing a crime. I think that is a very comfy job. That sounds incredibly nice. I'll just take a year off for committing a crime.
Jizierski admits to an affair and says there were sexually explicit conversations and photos on her department-issued phone. She deleted the evidence. The chief denied the affair to investigators, but did say he factory reset his phone before turning it in. Investigators found all of this violated department policy or code of conduct.
Listen, guys, I didn't do anything, but I also factory reset my phone before handing it in so that there's quite literally nothing on it. All right, you guys believe me? You guys believe me, right? I wouldn't lie to you. Come on, with a name like Finkelstein, who you're going to trust here?
Finkelstein's paid leave has cost taxpayers a total of more than $202,000, according to data from the town finance department. That includes everything from Finkelstein's salary, overtime for the acting chief, and even a car and gas for the chief. Chief Finkelstein was in a program for first-time offenders and has since had his charges dropped. The state is currently working on stripping him of his police certification.
Man, I want a program for that. You get one free wife beating? Is that what I just heard? You guys get one free wife beating for first-time offenders? You get one free? Is it like a punch card? You get one free wife beating? Anna's in the basement right now, but damn, one free wife beating. Noted.
So here we have a shitbag for a chief who beats his wife and sleeps with members of his command staff, a fat slob sergeant with no integrity who tried to cover for the chief, and a lieutenant who used her beat-up vagina to climb the ranks and get ahead. Then we have an officer with no balls who kept his mouth shut about the chief and blindly followed orders from his garbage superiors. These people have no business calling themselves leaders or cops and should all be removed from their positions, as they have all proven they cannot be trusted. Every other promotion and appointment within the department needs to be reviewed by a third party to make sure.
A punch card. It checks out, okay? It's a punch card. You get one freebie. It's a first-time program where they drop the charges, bro. Yeah. Second one, you end up like Jordan Jereb, though. That's a literal punch card. That's true, though. But not if the charges are dropped. It's a first-time program. Yes, Trip. In this case, though, the card is your wife.
Or they were the correct people for the positions. As the chief proved, he has no integrity. So if you're ever out and about in East Lyme and see any of these lowlives, feel free to say hello, and make sure you check on the chief's poor wife. On this episode of Trash Command Staff, we travel...
It's always the dead eyes. It's the post-wall dead eyes living in a man's job where, it's a little suspect. Post-wall dead eyes doing a man's job. Huge ass for 2 says Trench do a taste test of his 320. I didn't say that. I would never say that or insinuate that. That was too far. Thank you, Huge Ass. Huge Ass for 2 says, you ain't fine around a Stein. Ooh, that's good. You ain't fine around a Stein? That's good. I have to use that. Thank you, Huge Ass. Moonman for 5 says, fold my wife like a lawn chair for a year of paid leave? Shucks, I would do that to half the chat's SO for that. Yeah. I mean, a year paid off almost $250,000 when you factor in the overtime for the new chief and the car and all the other stuff. So, yeah, a year of time off, a freebie for punching your wife. It sounds like an absolute win-win. I fail to see the downside here. Vintage Welfare for 5 says standards so good that we double them and don't pass them to the next guy. It's like double or nothing, but with crimes. So the judge is like, if you do it again, you'll get in more trouble. But right now, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Vintage Welfare. Pinot Schaefer, $10 says absolute Moonman. You know it is best in life to trigger to Jenny, to see them seethe before you and hear the coping of their mod chat. Yeah, you guys are being mean. You're all making all sorts of fun to Mr. Logan. And Logan just tries to do his job. And you guys just bully him. It's funny. But you guys just bully him. Speaking of bullies, how's it going, James?
Hey, going all right.
Good. Oh, and now here's somebody who I'm sure has great stories about police corruption and shenanigans happening in the background. Central Sands Defense for 2, Ben, says, boy, do I have stories for you. Yeah, I'm sure wacky things happen. James, did you manage to catch that last story at all? Oh, you muted yourself. There you go.
Just a little bit. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah. No, you're good.
I think I got the last one, but
yeah. So police chief beats his wife, and then his fellow police officers fail to investigate it. So then he gets put on paid administrative leave for a year. So a full year
with
paid,
a car, I heard, right?
Well, so it cost the department about $200,000 for a year of his paid time off. He gets put into a first-time offender program. The charges get dropped, and he still is on paid time off, paid administrative leave, or whatever they call it. So the joke was, you get one time, a free punch card of your wife. You can punch your wife one time for...
That's what we call a mostly peaceful marriage.
A mostly peaceful marriage. He was mostly non-abusive. Yeah. And then, of course, there's the corruption inside of the unit. Because the reason why he punched his wife is because he was sleeping with one of the other officers, of course, and then before, because during this investigation, both of them, the female police officer and the police chief, deleted all of the evidence. The police chief factory reset his phone, which obviously deletes everything. He says nothing happened, but also I factory reset my phone to delete quite literally everything.
Not at all suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's obviously just lying about everything. Like this obviously happened. Yeah, it was a mostly loving marriage. Mostly loving. Okay, well, it doesn't get any better because the next story that I had, oh shoot, not this one. It's this one right here. So, unfortunately, it doesn't get any better for police departments. Apparently, this happened a while ago, and it either got memory hold or I just forgot about it. Kentucky judge gunned down by sheriff allegedly ran sex ring in his chambers. So this, we'll get into the full article, but the police officer who's allegedly a buddy of the judge, I'm not sure to what degree he was involved in the escapades in the judge's chambers, but they're fairly lurid from what I was able to gather from this article. A Kentucky judge killed by sheriff ran courthouse like a brothel and traded sex for favors at twisted parties. Victim. The rural Kentucky judge gunned down in his own chambers last year ran a twisted sex ring in which young women were coaxed into performing sexual favors just to get out of trouble, one of the alleged victims claims. You know what's funny, James, is that this actually might tie into our topic later tonight when it comes to, marrying certain people for access to the kingdom of heaven or stuff like that. Just favors. Mm-hmm. Taya Adams alleges she was among those caught up in Judge Kevin Mullins' apparent sex for favors scheme that saw him and others in the tiny town of Whitesburg demand sex in exchange for cash or to get offenders off the hook. Adams told News Nation's Banfield that Mullins, who was shot execution style in his Lecter County chambers, allegedly by his longtime sheriff pal, Sean Steins, last September, had warned her to keep quiet about the so-called depraved ring. What is that behind him? What is that mural of? Is that minors, not as the young people, but as like actual miners with a pickaxe?
Yeah, I really can't tell.
Is that, I don't know. All right, so this is according to one of the quote-unquote victims. We would do sex parties and perform shows and have sex with them for money, things like that. Adams alleged it was consensual, but it was the thing that we were so young and they used it against us to destroy our lives later. Adams said she felt forced to go along with the judge's scheme because she feared Child Protective Services would somehow get involved and upend her life. So these are all criminals who are in the justice system. And this is a judge using his position of power, like literally using. I don't really always agree with the dumb dynamics of like, oh, well, somebody had a position of power. And so like I have a higher status, so I can never talk to somebody of a lower status than me. I don't really agree with all of that stuff. But this is somebody who literally has a position of power over people who are actually under his jurisdiction, like literally under his jurisdiction. Yeah. So he can actually ruin your life with, a bad sentence or whatever it might be in these cases. Or he can make it all go away for a little romp in the chambers.
Yep.
Which is
about
disgusting.
As corrupt as it gets. Yeah.
They would make sure you feel small and degraded and belittled as possible to take your power away, Adams says. It wasn't immediately clear if the woman had any prior run-ins with the law or if she was on CPS's radar at the time. She went on to say it was just given she would keep her mouth shut about the apparent depravity, insisting who would believe it anyways, because the whole town was doing it, nobody cares, they're all swingers, it's all a big party to them, it was just so normal. Now this is nuts. Lecter County, so it's the tiny little town of, what's the real name of it? I actually want to look up the town to see how many people live in it. because it's in a specific town. But apparently, this is weird because there are, like I think of small rural communities as like in my mind, like more idyllic, more wholesome, right? Like small communities and whatnot. And every now and again, there's the inverse where you hear of some place where power goes to somebody's head and the whether it's the sheriff or the judge or whoever it is, and they try and run the town with an iron fist, basically like it's their own little kingdom. And because it's so small, because everybody just kind of goes along with it, they can get away with it.
That was kind of the plot of the first season of Reacher. Did you ever watch that show?
I know what you're talking about, but no, it's been done many times. That type of story. Like I remember a MacGyver episode where he just randomly gets into a town that's doing something like that, and he has to like take on the mayor of the town and stuff like that. It's a trope, but apparently it's based in some reality at least, and I'm sure you've seen it also in Western movies and stuff like that. You got the rancher or the mayor or whatever it might be who's corrupt, who's in with the outlaws. All right, but apparently, the whole town was in on it, or at least a number of people. Separately, Sarah Davis, a former deputy jailer at the Lecter County lockup, told the outlet she'd heard about the nasty and sickening stories to come out of the parties. Pretty much everybody in the county knows, she says. But it was confirmed to me after working in the county jail, especially after being invited to a party myself. The claims only add to the disturbing allegations that have emerged in the wake of Mullen's chilling, caught-on-camera slaying last year, including the slain judge had been running his courthouse like a brothel. It has since been revealed that one woman, Sabrina Adkins, threw Mullen's name into the mix during a 2022 criminal investigation into a Lecter County deputy sheriff who was later jailed for rape and sodomy of a female dam.
Good grief.
Wow. Adkins, who claimed she was coerced by then Deputy Sheriff Ben Fields to perform sexual favors in exchange for staying under house arrest. Okay, so you get instead of going to jail, you get to do things for me. Alleged the judge was in on the long-standing sextortion racket. So literally go to jail or do favors for me. I seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl in the judge's chambers, Adkins told police in her interview at the time. She then added that Fields, who was fired in the wake of the probe, also had some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers. Okay. It is unclear if the alleged extortion scheme had anything to do with Mullen's shooting. So, Steins, who resigned days after the September 18th shooting, has pleaded not guilty to a charge of murder of a public official because he did, there's video, you can watch the video, we're not going to show it here, but you can watch the video of him walking into the judge's chambers and killing him.
So what's the not guilty defense? It was justified?
Well, I don't know what the lawyer's arguing, or it's only temporary, because a lot of the times you just say not guilty no matter what, and then you work on whatever plea deal it might be. Because it's obviously it's not being tried in that county; it's being tried, state or federal at this point. So it's possible that there's some sort of plea deal. Like he's like, no, you don't understand what this judge did, and me killing him was the only way for him to actually face justice. So I mean, there's some sort of plea deal they're probably fighting for, if I had to guess.
Yeah, no, I don't know what his options are, because I mean, I guess you could go the jury nullification route and just say not guilty and hope the jury is sympathetic towards you. Or if you kill someone and try to claim not guilty, typically you have to have a positive defense of some sort to argue why it was justified. And even if someone's a scumbag, I don't think that it's gonna fly.
Not good enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the only time where I think that worked, at least that I can think of, is the father who killed his son's rapist.
Right.
Where
but that
he
is just
basically
jury
got off.
nullification, I think. I mean, I don't think that he really had a legitimate positive defense. It was just...
Well, no. No. Very, very much so he did not. He quite literally killed a handcuffed man.
How did he plead? Did he plead not guilty?
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah,
but I don't remember. Because essentially the jury, just decided not to do anything.
Right.
Right. And then they decided not to retry, I think is how it goes. The judge had been decades-long friends with his accused killer and was spotted having lunch with him just hours before he was gunned down on September 18th. So this guy has lunch with him and then decides afterwards, you know what? No, you're done. I don't know what happened in that call, or maybe he was part of it and that he was getting extorted as well, like if there were videotapes of it. So it's possible that this is he's in on it as well and was afraid of being, he was being extorted himself. Who knows? So I'm not saying that he did this out of like altruism or like, he could be just as guilty, right? We don't know. And obviously he did commit a crime of murder.
Yep.
Hope he made the judge buy his lunch. It was a power move.
It reminds me. There's a book I read by one of the uniformed officers. It's part of the Secret Service, but part of the uniform division. So someone who was just staff, essentially guarding the White House during the time when Clinton was in the White House, and just wrote a book exposing a lot of the scandal. I mean, at that point, it wasn't really exposing it. It was just sort of his memoir on it. And one of the comments that he made is he always thought, why would someone do this? Why would someone with this much power, with this much to lose, go and, commit these kind of sex scandals? Because it was apparently just rampant throughout the White House. It wasn't just Clinton. It was his chief of staff. It was all the different staff people were just banging people left and right. And what he realized is, no, it's not why would someone do this and risk the power. This is the point. This is the power they're going for. It's the power to just be able to use and abuse anyone around you and to get them to do whatever you want. It's like, that's the point. And so if they had all the power and didn't have that, they wouldn't have the power. Like, it wouldn't matter, because that's what they're going for. And I think that certainly applies in some small town situations as well.
Yeah, no, I think there's truth to that, because what's most likely going on is that he was getting away with it up to that point, right? And this was not, he became president and then decided, you know what, I'm going to be a sex pest.
Right.
He was a sex pest and he'd been getting away with it. He got elected president and he's like, I'm untouchable. I've been doing this my whole life. I have all of this power, and I'm just, it kind of power usually enhances or exposes what people really are. It's kind of like alcohol in a way.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't know the situation where the reverse happens, where you're a bad person and you get power and you suddenly become better.
You'll see it occasionally with when it's just corruption and not necessarily like corruption of the soul as much. Sometimes people are just sort of part of the machine. So the one example I can think of is Chesterton, kind of a little known president, but when he became president, it was because of, I think, the death of the president before him. He was VP at the time. And when he was as VP, everyone thought that he was just another machine politician. I think it was Chicago Paul. And everyone thought that he was going to be more of the problem. And there's a quote about him that says, no one came into the office more generally disrespected and no one left more widely respected, because he just cleaned it all up after he got into the presidential office. So there are rare occasions where I guess you trend the other direction, but it probably would only apply to those sorts of situations where it's more of just you're part of the machine. You don't necessarily realize that there is another way, and then you get the power and you realize, I can actually clean this up.
You can actually
in terms
do
of the
something.
Moral corruption, I don't. Yeah, I think that's kind of a one-way street.
Yeah. Excuse me. Todd Docs for 2 says the wall always wins, and she looks like. Sig Ivor? What? I don't know. Sig Lover. I see what you're saying. My bad. Thank you, Tom Dogs. The Light Explorer for 2 says Trench. Nah, just you guys just take it a second. Dick Cheney's Heart for $2 says, is that considered community service? No. Yeah. So when the judge orders 40 hours of community service, it's a special type of service. Moonman for 2 says Prison Princess is with us now. He is an expert. Yeah, we might take a look at Jordan's self-defense class from his prison girlfriend who stabbed her ex-boyfriend. Which should be a good time. Thank you for the 2, Moonman. Fresh Pinochet for 5 says, you know what, Focus? You're right. We do a little trolling. Here is a crisp $50 bill. Greatest ally tax deducted to help with the therapy. Thank you very much. I will send that to Logan, actually, because you guys are bullying Logan. Thank you, Mr. Pinochet. Son of Mandalore for 5 says, the more time that goes on, the more I'm slowly realizing that the funny mustache man has some good points about nasal decongestion. Yeah, it's terrible time of year right now. The allergies are wild. Potentially criminal for 2 says Gary Plauche was convicted but got probation. So they convicted him on it. Convicted of murder, right? No prison time. Let me look up. I need to look up that sentence now.
Yeah.
Sentence. All right, so he was given a 7-year suspended sentence with 5 years of probation and 300 hours of community service. No prison time. So convicted of murder, no prison time, only some probation. Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, still a felon, so that kind of complicates the rest of your life a little bit, depending on what you're doing. But no prison time. 100%. Yeah. Because, okay, here's the argument. All right, this is a question for you. Would it have been worth it if you got life in prison? So you never get to see your son again.
Probably not. Yeah. He still had someone to take care of. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Vigilante justice is kind of tough all around, actually. It's not a simple moral issue. I think it is justified, but yeah, I don't know. You got to take care of the people that still depend on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think to your point about being justified, I think that the farther and farther you see society fall, somebody from Minnesota is calling me, I don't know why. The further you see society fall and the less justice actually gets dispensed, almost the more necessary vigilante justice becomes. And that's just the natural way of it, right? Whenever you see law and order break down, by necessity, people will have to actually do what needs to be done.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% right, and that is the calculation that you have to make. I do think that it is sometimes acceptable, but it just basically, justice is necessary in society. If justice is not being accomplished, and there's no way to further it within the bounds of the system, then sometimes you got to step outside of the system.
Jordan Jereb, survivalism, prepping, and life for $5 says the audience wants to see the video of my girlfriend throwing objects at me and abusing me. Okay. Well, I don't know if James has been exposed to your story, so I'll have to fill him in and get his reaction to it because I find it quite interesting. Boy Anderson for 5 says self-defense laws as currently constituted have relegated decent men into a purely prey species. Diomedes Appreciator. Have relegated decent men into a purely prey species. Well, yeah, it limits what you can, and we're very lucky, actually, that Kyle Rittenhouse and the gentleman on the subway did not get convicted, right? Because that would throw an even further wrench into what you can do. And I was actually fairly certain that the gentleman on the subway who defended, that guy was going crazy, he was threatening people, and when he restrained him, happened to die, although he had lots of substances in his system as well. I was actually pretty convinced he was going to get some sort of jail time and be convicted of that. So I was actually very happy to see that.
Yeah, Daniel Penny, right?
Daniel Penny, that's the one. Yes. Because when that happens, when somebody gets, although to be fair, I did see a case today where I think it was in Minnesota, a officer killed somebody trying to carjack him, and he got sent to prison for 54 years.
Good grief.
Which creates a chilling effect on self-defense.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think it was in Minnesota. I saw that today. Thank you, Boy Anderson. Christian, how's your night going, man?
What's up, fellas? I'm good. How about you guys?
I'm doing good. You missed the bad part, so you get purely to the cringe part.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Chud for 2 says chat wants to see Incredible Kyle. Nope, not happening. I had to see it. Nobody else is going to have to see that. I will block. I am Chud blocking the chat from that. Moonman for 10 says he dances in light and in shadow, and he is a great favorite. He never sleeps. The judge, he is dancing. He says that we will never die. The judge, probably before the sheriff shot him. Yeah, Judge Holden, what a interesting fictional character. Is he a man? Is he a demon? I don't know.
What is that a
All I
reference
know
to?
is Judge Holden. What's the name of the book? He is perhaps one of the most creepy villains in all of Western media. It's a book written by an author that doesn't know how to write. There's no punctuation or spaces or parentheses in his writing, but Judge Holden is a very famous literary character, and yeah, just look him up. He's very interesting.
Okay, gotcha.
Blood
Yeah,
Meridian,
I've heard
yes,
that
that's the
term
one.
before. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I've never read
Blood
that.
Meridian. It's a very, very dark book, and the judge is a semi-supernatural character. Like, you might think that he's human, but he does things that are not human.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very creepy character. All right. Well, now I get to let you guys be the guinea pig for this. So, Jordan Jereb, did either of you guys get to catch the debacle between Bucky and Jordan Jereb?
I watched the majority of it. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite
Oh, that's
streams.
right.
It's fantastic.
That was good. Okay. So, he sent me this video. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Me and him, we've been talking a little bit, and he sent me this video. And so this is Crazy Girlfriend versus Riot Shield. Yes, this is his prison girlfriend that people in the chat have been making jokes about him, pre-ordering her from prison or whatnot.
As one
and
does.
yeah, as one does. I think he's still in chat. He's still in chat. I wanted to get him and his lovely girlfriend on the channel to discuss that dating strategy and how that goes about. And, I just think that would be an interesting peek into Florida man worldview.
I would watch that for sure.
Don't have time to tonight, but we possibly could in the future. So, 3-minute video, Crazy Girlfriend versus Riot Shield, Jordan Jereb, survivalism, prepping, and life. And he's in the chat with us right now. Actually, you know what, Jordan? I think I have your email. Maybe I'll send you an invite and you can review it with us real fast since you're already here.
This is gonna be gold.
Yeah, you guys can meet him. Did I email you? Is that how it worked? I think that's how it worked. Jordan Jereb. There he is. All right. Jordan, I just sent you an email with the StreamYard invite link. This should be good. All right. It's the best dating strategy.
I might be
Well,
sold,
I want to get both of. Yeah, actually, Christian, as a single guy, you're like, all right, it's like
Taking
I
notes.
want this one, tax evasion. That's mega based. I want the one for tax evasion.
Yep. All you're gonna do is send them like some candy and stuff, and that's it. They don't want like go on like trips and stuff. Just
It's so they
snacks.
can't go anywhere. It's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
cheap too. You just send them money on the commissionary. You write them on your little app, and there it is. They're like captive pen pals. They can't go anywhere. And then
Is there an app for prison dating? Is there like a Tinder for behind bars?
Well, it's the pen pal, so it's not the app for date. It's not for dating specifically. But now that he has brought this up, I am sure that this is a real strategy that has been employed to do nefarious things.
Yes.
Because there is an app that allows you to, like pen pal, so you can talk to inmates or whatnot. Because, you can have communication with the outside world under a set of controlled circumstances. But
Sounds like we just need to throw an API over that app and create an actual legit dating prisoners app where you can just swipe and everything.
And Jordan was saying, like, a lot of the girls involved in it are like part of a Christian community, or like they try and do like some reformation or not maybe reformation. What's the right word?
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Like inside of the prison system, right? And actually, he's here now. Your camera's not connected, Jordan, so I'll give you a minute to hop up. But yeah, I mean, okay, if you're gonna go bar hopping and find a party girl, or go to prison and find somebody who likes to live on the edge.
Love it.
But yeah, I think getting them both on together to explain how the situation worked and how they ended up being together would be quite something. Use it to build a crew. Yeah, assemble a crew of people. You need somebody who can carjack, you need somebody who can rob a bank, and you need somebody who can do another skill, and you can see what they're in prison for. Although, to be fair, if you're seeing them in prison, it probably means that they weren't particularly good at that thing that you wanted them for. They got caught. Intimate with inmates coming soon to TLC. No. Dick Cheney's Heart for Two says, name your favorite politician to defend yourself against. Ooh, okay. If I had to defend myself against somebody, Favorite politician to defend yourself against? Huh. They're all old, though, you know? They're all old and decrepit. So it's like Biden would be just like tripping him and watching him not be able to get up. That wouldn't be fun.
Does Paul Pelosi count?
Paul Pelosi got hammered by one of his male guests. Oh, thank you, baby. Appreciate that. An emergency Diet Dr. Pepper. Look at that.
Excellent. Those are so
There's that one chat. There's that one chat account that's a refreshing Diet Dr. Pepsi or Diet Dr. Pepper. Sorry. Hey, Jordan, how's your night going, man?
Hey. What's going on?
What's up, Jordan?
What's up, dude?
Is everybody frozen or is it just me?
It might be just you. I think we're all here.
Okay.
You good? You got us?
Yeah, I sent something for after we watched the video.
Oh, what'd you send?
Well, you can look at it now if you want.
What is it? Where did you send it on? In the private chat?
No, it's in the presentation thing in the StreamYard.
No.
In the private.
Is this Stephen Molyneux?
No,
What
it's big. That's big homie Steph right there. Universally preferable behavior, you know. Represent,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
UPD.
that's so funny, dude. It's funny. I just watched a 2-hour debate with Stefan Molyneux, Jay Dyer versus Stefan Molyneux. It was from like 5 years ago, but it just randomly popped into my feed, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to this.
He's a rapper, you know. He did a rap song.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Is there an AI Stefan Molyneux rap song? That would be quite funny.
Yeah, actually, there's a couple of those. But here's the thing, right? The video I sent you, we got a video of my girlfriend violating the non-aggression principle.
It's very true. Yes,
That's what we're about to watch. I know it's an odd segue. Here we go.
It's funny though.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, honestly, man, I didn't expect anything less.
Yeah. So what are we gonna go ahead now? I guess.
Well, yeah. Let's see what we got here. I'm giving you a preemptive link.
I got my fingers crossed.
I'll put the seat down next time. I promise. The peanut butter we were already out of peanut butter. Okay. Oh. You guys told me these monsters would come back to haunt me. Oh my God! Oh shit! Oh, she's going crazy! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh! Listen! No, we can talk about this.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this exactly how your girlfriend got to prison in the first place?
No. No.
There was no shield.
Yeah, there's no shield. And then, like, you know, this is like no
Everything
knives
else is the same.
involved here.
Well, yeah, there was a knife involved.
But listen. I just want to say, try getting a normie girl to do stuff like this with you. It's not going to happen. You got to get yourself a based, awesome prison girl. You know, get yourself a prison waifu. Get yourself a prison waifu. You know, that's what you need to do.
You found yourself a chud wife?
We're all chuds here, bro.
What is a female chud? A chudlet?
Chudlet?
Chudlet? What do we call female? I don't know. We'll figure that one out later.
That sounds like a slur.
We'll let the chat figure that out.
It's a femcel, right? Because she is involuntarily celibate in prison.
Well,
yeah. You don't need to go any. You don't need to go any farther than that. No.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
All right, so how does that work? So you're out, you're out of prison. You've been in the system before.
Okay,
and
so
you're like, I need a girlfriend.
Okay, so look, you were incorrect about the pen pal thing. I did not use that. What we do is you really need somebody like me. You need like a tour guide, right? You basically need somebody that knows the inside. You got to have somebody that has big social capital among the inmates, right? So when I was in Republic of Florida Militia, we had like advocacy stuff, and we were sending stuff into the prison systems, literature, pamphlets, stuff like that. And even before we were doing it, there was like some Christian identity group that had already been doing this like years before I ever got involved with it, right? So that's the thing. I already have immense social capital. I know who's who. I know who plays games and who doesn't play games, because if you go into this blind and you don't know shit about it, you're going to step on a fucking landmine. So you have to you have to have somebody that knows what they're doing, or you're
By-
probably gonna end up stepping on a landmine.
By landmine, you mean like she might stab you or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. But you know, you have to. I want to point something out. It's a different situation with me than it is with other people. Okay, like if a regular guy came to me and he said that he wanted to write female inmates and potentially meet somebody, I would probably not. It's a different situation for me, right? This is like the person that's right for me is not going to be the person that's right for you. Right, the person that's right for a lot of these guys in the chat is like what you were talking about, like tax evasion or something like that, right? Or whatever. Like, you know, and tax evasion is, as you said, it's super based because I mean, like you not paying the
foreign occupation tax.
Yeah, not paying the the people with the nasal congestion problems. You know, you not paying them is you know, those politicians, they're always, their noses are just, their nasal congestion's out of control. And you not paying them is super based. If you got a girl that like wasn't paying taxes, it's obviously based, red pilled. So
based in prison girlfriend pilled.
Mm-hmm.
The prison pill is a good pill. You know, you need to take that pill.
So, question: were there multiple girls in the running? Were you like, oh, this one or that one?
Yeah, were they like
that one over
competing
there?
for you?
You know, I wish I could go on OBS right now because I mean, and really show you guys what my Securus account looks like. But I've done it on my own streams before. I have like hundreds of people on my Securus account. I have hundreds of people, and most of them are women, right? And that's mostly because my longtime friend Desiree, and again, there's a lot to this. There's a lot of backstory, very long story. We could bring my girlfriend in if we wanted to, and she could probably tell you guys more. But the bottom line is, I have been involved with this kind of stuff for years and years and years. I know all these girls. And like out of all the girls that could have came home to me, I picked Nicole. I love Nicole. Okay. Nicole she's the only one I wanted to come home to me. You know, I had my choice of hundreds of girls who wanted to come home to me, but Nicole's the one that I picked because I love Nicole. You know, Nicole is an amazing woman.
So is that because Nicole is just the only one who's really suitable for anyone, or Nicole is just perfect for you?
No,
like,
Nicole is
if
perfect
other guys
for me.
try this, are they going to have plenty of options?
I mean, to be honest about Nicole, and I don't want to talk too much about Nicole because this isn't really about her, but truth be told, I feel like not many guys can handle Nicole. I feel like Nicole is perfect for me. I feel like Nicole is my perfect person. I don't want to say soulmate because it's a toxic way of thinking. There is no soulmate handcrafted for you by God. There's only people that you're compatible with. But I think Nicole is perfect for me, 100%. I don't think somebody like Nicole is perfect for the average guy, but I think Nicole is perfect for me. I love Nicole. She's perfect for me. I get her. I understand her, right? But in terms of like these other girls in here, there's somebody in there that's perfect for you. You know, there's somebody in there that's perfect for everybody. And so, like, yeah, this is the best male dating strategy, 100%. I'm trying to get this guy YBC. YBC makes a lot of red pill content about female nature and stuff like that. And I'll openly have conversations about female nature with Nicole. We talk about shit test. We talk about biology and how evolution made it so women do shit test and they don't even notice. I mean, I made a video about that with Nicole holding the camera. So
sorry, I'm not familiar with this term, shit test.
Well, what a shit test is a girl's intentionally going to do something, put you through some shit, just to see how you react to it. And this is something women do without even trying. So they're going to start some kind of petty argument. Or they're going to do something that annoys you intentionally.
So the idea is to put you off and to see how you deal with it, I guess. And it is kind of like a gauging how you do in bad situations.
It's essentially like you break frame, like if you give up your frame or not.
Yeah, and if you so the biggest thing I would say is men out there, like you can't, if a woman tries to tell you to apologize and you know you've done nothing wrong, don't apologize. That's one of the biggest shit tests there is. Now, if you did something wrong, you should apologize 100% because it shows character as a man to admit when you've done something wrong. But one of the shit tests is to kind of freak out about something that's not actually a big deal. And then like, that's one of the classic ones. And I don't want. I'm not belittling women or degrading them. The thing is, they don't know they're doing it. Evolution gave this to them over the course of thousands of years. And the reason they do it is because they're making sure that you're the man that you're supposed to be. That's why they're doing it, right? And so I have understood and mastered female psychology. Another thing I want to point out is that the relationship between me and Nicole is mutually beneficial. Me and her, we love each other. We take care of each other. We provide for each other. It's not like there's no exploitation going on or anything like that. This is a better way to meet women, guys. It just is. And they're not on their phones all day. Their dopamine receptors have not been fried. You know, like, I don't know what it is. This shit hurts men being on the cell phones all day scrolling, but for some reason, I don't know why, it seems to have completely destroyed women. Whereas it hurts men very badly. But I think what it is a girl that looks good, that gets on social media, posts pictures of herself, she instantly gets lots and lots and lots of attention. So I think what this does is I think this is like super dopamine, like the dopamine of being famous. And so when you're famous, but you're also only famous because you look good, you start to view yourself almost as like a piece of meat. You know, and so it's terrible for their self-esteem. It's terrible for for who they are and their sense of identity, because a person, a human being, needs to be known for who they are as a person and not as just some piece of meat on a meat market trying to get likes on Facebook, right? And so I think
I 100% agree. I think that social media is really bad for young girls, especially. Makes them sad and miserable and do all sorts of crazy things for attention and whatnot. It's bad for guys too. Go ahead.
There's a video I did I really, really want you to watch. I'm talking about I really want you to watch it. It's the second video I did before I did the Riot Shield one. This video will save your life. It's the one I uploaded 2 days ago. And it talks about the zeitgeist, and it talks about how basically the whole system is rigged to make you feel like shit.
Spiders.
Solution. Here we go.
Caught somebody. He's got a grasshopper. It's gonna be the background for this video. It's happening to you. You're that grasshopper. You're that grasshopper. Stuck.
That's a big spider, man. I hate spiders, bro.
I got those all over the place. You'll notice that's my channel logo and my store logo.
A garden spider?
Yeah. By the way, guys, I hate to plug, but, you know, camouflage Hawaiian shirts. I sell camouflage Hawaiian shirts, okay? So the Boog crew, you know, the Boogaloo crew in here, get your camouflage Hawaiian shirts from the Jordan Jereb store. Anyways, continue.
Stuck in the web, and you're stuck in that web, and you don't know you're stuck in that web, most likely, unless you're extremely self-aware. You need to watch this video, the whole thing through. I'm serious as a heart attack. This video is going to change your life. I had a conversation with my girlfriend very recently. I talked about the pharmaceutical industry. I talked about the people that sell makeup, the people that sell clothes, the people.
Bro, I think you're on the right wavelength, man, but you just come across as a freaking stream of consciousness, like never ending. Is Nicole a good listener?
Yes.
Okay, because that has to be compatible, right?
Yeah.
Because like, and I'm not trying to dog on you. I'm saying like you can go like without even missing a beat, bro.
Yeah.
Like I could walk off for an hour, and when I come back, I would be very confident you would still be going.
Oh, you'd have super chats and everything. Oh yeah, I could. As a matter of fact, like if you want to take a break, you know, I mean, I could take the wheel for a little while.
Well, this is Jordan Share show now, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna take off now. Well, no, I mean we only got 15 minutes before the next stream starts. But how do you really want to go over that? Is that what you want to do?
This video yeah, right, I really want people to see this.
People that put out rap music videos. I talked about the sheriff giving the local press conference when a criminal gets arrested. I talked about the prison industrial complex. I talked about the welfare state. I talked about the free stuff they hand out. And you know what all these things have in common? Ulterior motives. Ulterior motives. It's Hegelian dialectics. People get powerful off your...
Is that how you pronounce that, Hegelian?
Yes, Hegelian dialectics. George Hegel.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
They came in from George Hegel, yeah.
Misery. you are to the powerful, and I don't mean the super elite on their yachts or on Epstein Island or something. To the powerful, you are nothing but an economic unit. You are a statistic, right? If they can convince you that your anxiety is out of control, they can prescribe you some of this bullshit. They can give you some pills. Oh yeah, give you some pills to make you feel better, right? Oh, anxiety, it's a major problem, anxiety. Yeah, I got a newsflash for you. We all have anxiety. We don't need pills for anxiety. We've had anxiety for thousands of years, okay? They can convince women that they're ugly, get women to buy new clothes, makeup. They can convince you that you're crazy. You go see a psychologist every week. But I will say you fix that with self-awareness, realizing everything in life revolves around a bottom line, an ulterior motive. I talked to my girlfriend about food stamps, and I asked her, do you think that the government gives people assistance, food stamps, Social Security, stuff like that, out of the kindness of their heart? Fuck no. How kind of you to forcibly take money from one person and give it to me. How kind of you to do that. And you really mean to tell me that there's no ulterior motives there? There are ulterior motives. The rich and powerful benefit from you being miserable and thinking that you need to be fixed. Create the problem, sell the solution. Oh, you have anxiety. Oh, we have some pills to give you for that. Oh, you think you're ugly. Well, we have some clothing and some makeup and some cosmetics.
I totally agree, though, that it is the anxious self-image industry. Whether it's makeup, drugs, clothes, whatever it might be, it's all
cars
predicated on making.
Listen,
sure, yeah, it's status symbols for men, right? Men is about status.
I need to just. I'm gonna drop a bombshell. Fuck that video. I'm just gonna drop a bombshell, guys. I'm gonna tell you how they get you. They bring you to the car lot and they say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a Dodge Hellcat, and we're 25% interest rate, and you'll pay $99 for the next 15 years. And then when you crash the fucking thing, you're still owe us anyway, and we'll probably repossess the thing anyway." And so this is how they get you. And so you see a bunch of beta males driving around in some truck or something. It's the only thing they own is this truck. And their financial future has been ruined because they don't understand basic math. If you understand the basic math, you would realize how the interest works. You would realize how when you do your budget every month, you paying $99 a month is significant. It is, right? So these people go to the store and they freak out because, oh, this food item is $2 more now. And it's like, bro, well, you're paying like $150 a month for a car. That's not even factoring in the insurance, right? That's not even factoring in the tickets you get when the cops pull you over because they profile you because you're younger. The insurance can legally profile you when you're younger. The whole thing is a screw job. And for what? To attract some girl, and the only reason she likes you is because you're driving around a fancy car, and the only girl you're going to attract is a dumb one because she's going to realize that that's the only thing you have is that car. I mean, the girl has to be kind of dumb. If the only thing she sees you have is a Dodge Hellcat, but you live in your mom's basement, honestly, the guy that owns a house that drives around town on an e-bike is probably the winner, really. That's who the smart girl is going to hook up with. The guy that owns a house and drives around town on an e-bike. Fuck that Hellcat. It's a depreciating asset the moment you drive it off the lot. And so you see it all the time. The beta male simp taxi service, Ford truck fake redneck driver with the fake duck hunter hat and the long hair, and he just looks like he wants to be Justin Bieber or something. That girl's not going to stay with him. You could get the girl, but she's not going to stay with you, bro. And so you have to learn what they're doing to you. That's why I'm a fat computer nerd and women love me, and that's why these little shrimp dick fucking fake betas, alpha sigmas or whatever we're calling them running around, they're miserable because they're destroying their whole life and their whole future so that they can pretend to have some shit. And this is how they get you. The same way they get women with the beauty and cosmetic products, that's how they get you with these cars. They make fun of this in Grand Theft Auto 5. For those of you that are gamers, Michael's son goes to the car dealership and they fleece him. It's in the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 5. For those of you that play video games, they're making fun of this in video games, guys. Don't let them get you. You got to break free from the zeitgeist. It's the music videos produce this shit, and they want you to they want you to live vicariously through these rappers and these rock stars or whoever they're doing it. It's the zeitgeist. I'm telling you guys, this is how they get you. This is how they screw you over. This is how they have you in debt forever. This is how they enslave you. This is how they make it to where you never own anything. The best thing you could buy is a piece of land and then put like a camper van on it or something. Get it to where your cost of living is zero. That's a smart thing. You know, yeah, you could do a 401k or whatever you do, 401k, max out your 401k contributions. Mathematically, if you do that for 25 years, you'll be a millionaire. Think smart. Think smart. There is no get rich quick scheme more often than not. Right? People got to start being smarter start thinking long term, realize the snowball effect of economics, social capital. Social capital is extremely important. Who you know. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. You need to get better relationships in your life. You need to hang around winners. You need social capital. Go around the golf course and hang out with some rich people and shit. Hang out with rich people. Associate with rich people. Take financial advice from rich people. Don't take financial advice from poor people. And I'm not even giving you financial advice.
I was about to ask Jordan, how rich are you?
I mean, I'm comfortable. Let me put it that way. I got my nest egg. Let's say that.
All jokes aside, no, that actually is very cogent advice.
Yeah,
the
don't
first
take
part of that.
relationship advice from people that have been divorced 3 times. Don't take financial advice from people that are broke. Stop hanging around people that live the type of life that you don't want to live. Misery loves company. Hang around powerful people that are going to uplift you. Like, that's my message to all the young men out there. Become the man you were supposed to be. You know, realize the man you were supposed to be. Realize I'm a chud. I'm a computer nerd just like you are. I'm a chud that went to prison, okay? I'm a 4chaner that went to prison. I mean, how do you think 4chaners do in prison? I did just fine because I adapted and I overcame, all right? Just like this Hawaiian shirt. It's camouflage and it's gray man theory at the same time, guys. You got to be adaptable. You got to be adaptable. You got to flow like water, like Sun Tzu says. And you got to win friends and influence people, like Dale Carnegie says. You guys need to read. You guys need to understand. Those of you that are in your 20s, realize shit's not going to start happening for you really until your 30s. Shit is going to suck for a while. It is. And like I said in that last stream, you got to climb that fucking mountain.
Fuck yeah.
And that's my advice.
Dude.
Climb the mountain. So.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean, listen, okay. The jokes do write themselves, but I do appreciate that, and there's a lot of cogent advice in there. But Jordan, I can't let you ramble on. I gotta get through some of this support, and I'm happy to hear your input on it. But then we got another stream to catch.
Okay,
in like 5 minutes.
I'm gonna dip out. I just want to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. And that is Jordan Jereb, gentlemen. I will put his link in the description right there, or in the chat. You guys can go check out Jordan Jereb. All jokes aside, right, there actually is some cogent advice in there that can be useful for people. I just think that sometimes the source is a little silly.
Yeah, that was one of the longest hellos I've ever heard.
No, I mean, listen, like a 30-minute checking on Jordan segment would be hilarious. Just randomly in a stream, and it's just a stream of consciousness. And no, I thought that was actually fantastic. Moonman for 10 says Judge Holden allegedly being based on a real polymeth mercenary is wild. Who or what he was, no one knew, but a cooler-blooded villain never went unhung. Is how the autobiography describes him. Yeah. Yeah, very. I mean, I would say he has to be a demonic entity. Tuss the Third for 2 says James on the struggle bus with that cigar. I didn't see where you struggling.
It's rough.
It
is not staying lit. No, like the entire stream I've been trying to keep it lit. But part of the problem also is that there's the neighborhood has a security car that drives around every once in a while, and I'm not supposed to be smoking in this porch, and so every once in a while I got to keep my eyes open.
Did I just hear you have to kill your HOA?
Oh.
Not yet.
Spicy.
Damn, like you can't smoke on your own porch?
Yeah, that's gay. That's really gay.
No, it's an apartment, so it's the
okay,
rules.
okay. Well,
yeah, it's reasonable, but
what happened to your torch, dude?
it's somewhere inside. I need to go get it. I'll get it between streams. Yeah.
No, but sorry. While he was going on, I was trying to find the right optic plate screws for my new Shadow 2 that I picked up today. So that's what I was doing during that monologue.
Ooh. I was trying to scratch the inside of my brain with a coat hanger.
No. There's lots of coaching. Richard. There's actually good advice in there. Most of it, I would say. I would say the vast majority of that is actually good advice.
Yeah, you just have to step through all the insanity.
No. I think legitimately most of that was good advice. Like, go back and listen to it. Almost everything that he said was correct. ECG for 2. Trench, my 12-year-old brother. He's better. No, he's not. ECG. Damn, I gotta ban that guy. You can't be making defamation claims. You can't just say Trench is a. No, can't do that. Nope. Chud McGill for 2 says, no true Chud. My culture isn't your effing costume. He was a Chud before he was a man. Thank you for that, Chud. Zephon for 2 says, if Mountain Dew was a real life couple. I thought that was very good as well.
I love that comment. That's great.
Thank you, Zephon. Tuss the Third for 2 says, is Jordan related to Iraq Vet 8888? Heavy Florida man vibes from both. Thank you, Tusk. Potentially criminal for 5 says, did you use the threat of her parole officer to keep her in line when she first got out? Well, he said that there was no coercion going on, so I would hope not. But it's like, what did you say to me? I'm going to call your parole officer.
It's a great move. No, he seemed pretty trusting. He did say last time that the first thing he did was give her a knife. So.
Give her a knife. Yeah. After she was in there for stabbing her ex-boyfriend in the shoulder and the face.
What I'm really curious, and I wanted to ask him, but he kept on going on. He just would switch subjects. It was hard to pin him down on any one thing. Mm-hmm. But I really want to ask him how his girlfriend does with other girls. I'm really curious how she gets along. Just, I don't know. I wonder what being in prison like that does to your, like he's talking about what it does to your brain chemistry in terms of social media. But I'm just really curious if she can get along with women at all. Maybe she can. I don't know. Maybe it boosts that.
Dick Cheney's Hartford too says they met online in the PSA product reviews. Yeah, neither of them can own firearms, which is funny. Oh, damn it. Somebody wanted me to ask him about black powder firearms, and I forgot. Darn it. Thank you, Dick Cheney's Heart for 2. Dogwater Tactical for 2 says, this is Ivy 8888 if he didn't kiss boys. Thank you, Dogwater Tactical. Zephon for another 2 says, I definitely couldn't handle being stabbed. Yeah, that's not on my to-do list. Not what I'm looking for in a mate. That was funny. It's like, look for people who are not, who are in the position you want to be. Only take advice from people that are in the position you want. I don't know. It's like, you're saying this, and I agree with you, but you're also an ex-felon, living in a trailer too. Thank you, Zephon. Moonman for 2 says, I should test. Like, would you love me if I was a worm? The correct answer is no. The correct answer for me is, how did you get out of the basement? Thank you for the 2. Blood Base for $20 says, Jereb, you dropped this and hands him a a crown.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. Thank you, Bloodbase, for the $20 for that. Yeah, no, a lot of things Jereb said was correct. I need to just clip his montages, his monologues. They're fantastic. Zephon for 2 says Jordan Chud Pill is Fago flavored.
Kind of does give off Juggalo vibes a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that vibe going on.
Yeah.
Tuss the Third for 2 if Jordan Peterson was fully retarded. No, that's an epic motivational speech. Well, listen, man. At least he wasn't crying while giving a monologue. You've got to clean your room, bucko, and these damned internet trolls can't get away with it. Thank you for that, Tusk. Huge Ass for 5 says, I've heard tweakers ramble less than this skin blimp. Skin blimp? I don't think I've ever heard that one before. Wow.
That. Thanks, dude.
Shut up, skin blimp. Damn.
It's a good slur.
Adding it to my list of slurs. Moonman for 2 says, can we get Jereb, Trench, Kyle, and Bucky on? I don't think Bucky would do it again, but that would be funny. Thank you for that, Moonman.
I bet he would if we asked.
Maybe, I don't know. Moonman for 2 says Logan can moderate as punishment. Yeah, you're actually punished for being a moderator. That's how it works here. Zafon for 2 says being trapped in a cell with this guy would be hell. I imagine that, yeah, I would have to be asking him constantly to shut up. Like, please stop. Because I'm not a talk. Yeah. Like, despite the fact that I stream 3 times a week, like, I'm not actually, like, that social of a person, like, talking all the time and good at keeping a conversation going. So, it would be rough for me. I like a lot of alone time. Thank you for that, Stefan. Huge Ass for 5 says Jereb with his trichology, and Yakubian brain powers. Yeah, I think he's just evolved to a higher state of being. Tondogs for 2 says Jordan has a juvenile worldview. What about Juice? Well, I mean, he was part of a white nationalist militia, so I'm pretty sure he has extensive opinions on all of the Juice flavors. Thank you for that, Dogs. Moonman for 10 says, please focus. Honey, chill. Richard Tito, my man, focus. Have this man read the Francis E. December Screed. For all that is good and also awful, it would be so good. Is that the thing you had me read the other day? Because he would read it. I mean, he's done book readings of banned works of art, so he would do it. But, I mean, maybe I'll copy and paste it to him and see if he'll do it on his channel. Okay? How about that? Francis, and don't message me on Discord so I can actually get that done. Thank you, Moonman. Dick Cheney for 2 says, that's very nice, Jordan. Now please get on the train. Dick Cheney, damn. Is Dick Cheney still alive? Or is he just...
I think he is.
Central Sands for 2 says Redneck David Goggins. Yes, very true. Oh, dude, that's going to be the title of his monologue, is Redneck David Goggins. Dr. Fuzzy for 5 says Jordan J. Most annoying guy you know. Makes some good points. Yeah, I mean, that happens every now and again. I think people don't like the information because of the source, not necessarily what he's actually saying. Yeasty G for 2 says Trench allegedly groomed my little bro. Allegedly. Well, see, you can say that, ECG, even though I hate looking at your profile picture. Paul Harrell for 5 says, damn, this channel really has gone downhill since I left. That's a From the Grave award right there. Thank you, Paul Harrell. ECG for 2 says, is Trenchapeta just asking? There are rumors. ECG, please stop. Chud McGill responds, says, yes, he is. Allegedly for 2. Thank you, Chud, for encouraging him. ECG comes back for 5, says, can we have Trench on to answer the pedo allegations? We need to get to the bottom of this. His internet behavior is very suspicious. I don't get it, ECG. No, we're not getting Trench on to debate whether or not he has dual allegiances to Israel, okay? That's not happening, ECG. Unbelievable. All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, we're only like 6 minutes late, but we are heading over to the other stream right now, which is going to be going over some really fun science fiction fantasy works. Some of my favorite cartoons ever made. I think it's highly entertaining, and I think you guys will actually enjoy it no matter what persuasion you are, so I totally recommend checking that out. Even if you just stick around, it's going to automatically transfer you over to the second stream, so you don't even have to click away. Before we go, though, Richard, did you see that I changed the name of the second channel?
No, I did not.
It's no longer out of Focus Clips. It's just Focus Clips with 2 P's. Just like Focus Trip, Focus Clips has 2 P's.
All right, I will work on changing the logo probably later on tonight.
Well, you don't need to change it. Just leave the logo because it's a funny little nod to what it was.
Okay.
I would just leave it. Yeah. And Christian and James, I would ask you guys what you have going on, but you guys are about to leave and hop over to the other place, and I will see you in like 60 seconds. So,
all right.
Before we do, Moonman for 5 says, honestly, this Yeasty guy makes some compelling points. There are many allegations, mostly from Yeasty. Yes, the only allegations are from Yeasty. And we are not talking about Yeasty G anymore. Thank you very much.
Yeasty G and
it's just
from the third.
Yeah, Tuss the Third also, he's a little scrambled. His uncle did terrible things to him, so allegedly. Anime Bible stream. No, I hope not. Unless somebody grabbed an anime clip. Did somebody pull up an anime clip? Christian, did you find an anime clip?
I found a pretty decent Jehovah Witness one, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Perfect.
It's like
never mind then.
It's like
Close
90s
enough.
cartoons.
Top five anime villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who showed up and supported this wacky, rambly stream. And we will see you guys on the other side in like 60 seconds. So
Good night, guys.
peace off, homies. God bless. Oh, no. I almost just left the studio instead of ending stream. That's not the right button.